About once a year, if I'm doing well, I'll have these doom scroll, obsessive compulsive watch sessions of the YouTube channel Jubilee. Have you heard of Jubilee? They do these videos like 5 strangers rank themselves in terms of attractiveness, and so they'll all get together in a group and be like, oh no, I mean, like, you know, I think I'm really hot, but you're hotter, and they point to like one person, and then when they are in a line, I love when the hot people point to the fourth person, fourth most hot, ugliest, second ugliest, and be like, I think you should be last. I love a Jubilee video. I don't love the feeling of watching them per se, but I love to watch them. And it only happens once a year because whenever I find myself obsessively watching a YouTube channel, I block it. I tell YouTube, do not recommend me this video because I can't handle it. I got TikTok at the beginning of the pandemic, and I kid you not, I scrolled on there for the rest of the day. I got it at noon, and then I looked up and it was midnight outside, and I was bleary-eyed twitching. I was like, this is so good, just one more, just one more. I can't handle content like that, like vapid, rage, whatever bait-y content. It gets me. It gets me. And so I deleted TikTok and then re-downloaded it twice and did the exact same thing without fail every time. When I was in middle school, I had an iPod Touch, and I would come home from school and I would play Terraria on it for 8 hours until bedtime. I can't control addiction, so I don't put myself in those situations. My annual Jubilee session happened a couple of days ago. I took a shower, I was having a lovely evening, I had some stuff to do, I laid in bed and I was like, I'll just check YouTube. And they got me. They recommended me a Jubilee. It wasn't Jubilee, but it was like a rip-off of Jubilee, and it was 50 men and 50 women swipe on each other in real life or something. And the episodes were hours long. It was like an hour, and then it was a part 2 an hour, and then I watched something else. And by the time I was done spiraling, it was past midnight. I go to bed early, and I was in bed feeling ran through negative connotation. But I'm glad I've gotten that out of my system for the year, and I look forward to not having another episode for the foreseeable future. I did tell YouTube to not recommend me that channel. But whether I like it or not, Jubilee is a mainstay in my life, and whether you like it or not, classics are a mainstay in literature. I have picked out 10 classics that I'd like to read this year. For whatever reason, I've avoided extremely famous ones. Or maybe not. Maybe there are just a lot of extremely famous classics, and these are just some that I haven't read. I've only read one of the books on this list. They're all read-ish, one of the books on this. We'll get to it. Don't be so impatient. This isn't a fun, creative, niche classics list. These are classics that I need to get to. That I want to get off my chest and not have to think of them again. Or I don't know, I just want to be done. Part of the appeal of classics to me is not necessarily a sensory appeal, like enjoyment of the books, but that they're touchstones for readers. Or just people, because you read them in school or spark notes them in school or whatever you do in school. And so it's fun to read classics because if someone likes it or dislikes it, it's a reflection of the person. And also they're good reference points for a famous book reviewer. I don't want to say like myself, but exactly like myself, to reference for their audience, to get a good idea of other books. Let's get into the books with probably the classic I want to most read. That is Lolita by Nabokov. Thought I heard something. I did hear something. The other day, this cat had been meowing incessantly outside my place for a long time. I was going crazy. I put headphones in, I tried to drown it out, I left, I came back, it was still meowing. And eventually, I put my ear to the floor and the meowing got louder. Turns out it was a classic case of the telltale pussy, and I had to let it out from under my floorboards, and everything's great now. But I thought it was back for a minute. I am most excited to read Lolita because I've read a page of it and I think it's great. I guess what we're doing here is going through the books, and I'll give you a cursory opinion on my opinionless experiences with the books, what I expect from them. I think that I'll really enjoy Lolita. I know Donna Tartt thinks it's a perfect novel, and I love the first page. The next book is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, and this is only, well, I don't know. I did enjoy, what's his Paris Spain one, bullfighting in it. I don't know, but I thought that one was decent, and I was paging back through my annotations and I was like, oh, he's kind of funny. He's funny. This was fun. And I found this, not this one, at a Goodwill, and I left it, and then it began haunting me, and then I found a first edition, or near first edition, something like that, book club edition, I don't know, old copy of the book, and so I bought that, but then I'm not going to bust that open and read it, especially since I anticipate really not enjoying this book, but Didion references her love of Hemingway, and it's very, very short. Ended up buying it on Amazon, used, and it arrived, and a day later I found this copy at a thrift store for $1, immediately returned the Amazon one. I don't think I'm gonna like this, but I think it will be, like all of these, a good reference point. What's the Hemingway I've read? I am excited to read his Paris stories, which I'm forgetting. I don't know a single one of Hemingway's titles, although I have been to his house. He's not there anymore, but his cats are, and they have 6 toes. The next book on this list is Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway. I haven't read a single Virginia Woolf. I think I would hate her. To me, she gives Jane Austen, but even more aggravating. Literary. But maybe not. I think Mrs. Dalloway might be the one that I appreciate the most. I know that she gets experimental, or so they say in her other works, like To the Lighthouse. Maybe I'll love Virginia Woolf, and I will eat my words. Let's read the back of Mrs. Dalloway. I have no clue what it's about. I think this might be the book that follows a woman over the course of a day, but I'm not sure. In this vivid portrait of a single... That's all. I won. Also, the books on this list aren't the 10 classics that I want to read the most. It's the ones that I'm prioritizing. They weigh on my soul like a burden, and I need to be done. Especially the next book, which is The Catcher in the Rye. I don't know. I'm sure it'll take me an hour or two to read this, but for whatever reason, I have not read it. If I don't read this year... The next book is probably the one I'm least looking forward to. No, that's a lie. It's The Old Man and the Sea. But this is Slaughterhouse-Five. I haven't read any Kurt Vonnegut, I don't think. But he's supposed to be like funny and quirky and weird, and I don't think I would enjoy that. Although I did really enjoy the half of Catch-22 that I read. And it sounds similar to Slaughterhouse-Five. I know a lot of people love this. I think I'll hate it. Oh, as for Catcher in the Rye, I think I'll be very middle of the line. I'll think, oh, cool. Good book. Fun. Virginia Woolf, did I give my opinion? Love or hate? I don't think there's going to be an in-between. Slaughterhouse-Five, hate. Next up is The Grapes of Wrath. I hate this cover, but I like this spine. I've read East of Eden, loved it. Of Mice and Men, I thought it was fun. Wouldn't read or recommend probably. But that was a long time ago that I read that. The Grapes of Wrath, I had sworn off. I hate the aesthetics that this book do. Western journeys, caravans, fields, the Dust Bowl, California, agriculture, early 20th century. The setting is a huge turnoff for me, but I did love East of Eden. And so I'm kind of looking forward to it. I think that I will maybe really enjoy The Grapes of Wrath. The next book is Frankenstein. This has been on at least one more of my TBR list. I can't seem to get myself to read it to save my life. I don't know. In past years, I've put this off until the fall, and then the fall comes around and I'm just reading Agatha Christie and whatever else I want, not Frankenstein. So I don't think I'm gonna save any of the books on this list, especially Frankenstein, until like October. Maybe I'll pick this up in a week. Who knows? I have no order or desired order in which I'll read these. They're gonna call to me and I'll know when they call to me, and that's when I'll pick them up. Frankenstein, I don't know. Everybody loves Frankenstein. I think, again, love or hate. Like Virginia Woolf, love or hate. I don't think there's gonna be an in-between. Next on this list is Jane Eyre. I used to get Jane Eyre, Jane Austen, and all 3 Brontë sisters in their books confused. I was like, is Jane Eyre the author? What did Jane Eyre write? I've gotten past that and read Wuthering Heights, hated it, which put a dampener on my love of the Brontes based on my reading of none of their novels, and instead on my dislike of Jane Austen, who the Brontes did not like, so I think. But Jane Eyre, I'm looking forward to. I read half of Villette, put it down. I was really enjoying Villette. I think that Jane Eyre could be really fun. I think that I will like it, if not love it. I love a good story, and I think that books like a lot of these, The Grapes of Wrath and Jane Eyre in particular, will just be good stories, if nothing else. The next book on this list is probably the best example of a good story. It's the Picture of Dorian Gray. This is the uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray, which I didn't know existed until I saw it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if this is any different from the original. Supposedly it is. Might have taken out some smut in the beginning. I don't know, but I remember loving The Picture of Dorian Gray, and it's been years since I read it, and I thought it was due for a reread in the uncensored version. The last book on this list is one I've tried to read 3 or 4 times. I've read the first 50 pages 3 or 4 times. It is Crime and Punishment by Tolstoy, and I don't know which translation to pick. There are 2. P&V classic. At first I was like, I don't want to read the P&V. Put that aside, bought this one. This is Nicholas Slater, and I don't know which one. I don't know which one to read. I love these editions. The back of these editions, the Oxford hardcovers, have a quote. This one says, "One death in exchange for thousands of lives. It's simple arithmetic." It sounds like Stalin. I think I could really enjoy this. I like the premise, murder, classic, but I don't know which translation to go with. Sound off in the comments, and I'll follow my heart. That's all for the books. There are other ones that are not quite as popular that I want to get to. I said that. Goodness! I want to be done going through the canon. And so I've culled the most popular classics from my shelves that I haven't read and made this video. The more enthusiasm I hear for these books in the comments, probably the sooner I'll read them. I'm easily swayed, which is crazy. Not really. I think maybe. Those are all the books I read in 2025. 2 days ago, it was Valentine's Day. I love you. You're my one. We are us. Scene.